Many players are expected to move to a different team next season. Today we'll be diving into the biggest names expected to be traded or leave via free agency. Hello and welcome to Air It Out. I'm your host Harrison Payne, and with me as always is Simon Leffer. How's it been, Simon?
I'm doing good. I'm pretty surprised at some of the trade talks that are going around, actually. How about you?
I'm doing alright. Gotten a couple of snow days. It's been pretty good.
Yes, sir.
So let's start off with something that just recently happened this past week. What are your thoughts on the J.J. Watt release?
So this one, I don't think it probably took you. It probably didn't surprise you as much as me, because I think you already said that he was going to move teams.
Yeah.
But I didn't see this one coming, actually, and there's a lot of teams that are actually good fits for him, and it's kind of interesting. Because I mean, he's already made, all the money he could ask for. He's already won Defensive Player of the Year 3 times. I think at this point he just wants to get a championship.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't really have anything else to accomplish besides getting a ring.
Yeah, the two teams that I've really been seeing are the Browns or the Steelers. And I thought Steelers, yep. I think I talked about Steelers not too long ago. But I thought...
Yeah, you just touched on it for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, but I thought that would be crazy because with TJ and Derek,
yep.
like all 3 brothers will be on the same team.
The Watt brothers, yep.
Plus the Steelers line would be crazy. But also on the other side with the Browns, you have... what's his name? Garrett.
Yeah, Myles Garrett.
Yeah, Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett and J.J. Watt would be playing on the same line, and it's just either one of those teams, their line would be unstoppable.
Yeah, that would be crazy. So I haven't really heard anything else from J.J. Watt's perspective about any other teams, but this morning I did hear that he is showing like legit interest in Cleveland, and I think that's good because to have him and Myles Garrett, because I mean J.J. Watt could either be playing as an edge rusher across from Myles Garrett, or he could line up inside on the same side as Myles Garrett, because you can't devote your whole offensive line to one side, so that would be kind of crazy if you imagine them on that same team like that. But yeah, I think the thing is that he needs to go somewhere where nobody's gonna build their whole scheme around him anymore, because he's lost a few, he's maybe a few years out of his prime. He still has a lot of good football left to play, but he's had injuries, and he's not necessarily like the best defensive player anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really important to have someone that can at least complement him, because he can't be like the only superstar you have on your defense. It's not going to work out.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but Browns would be a good place for him to go. Yeah, as you said, I'm seeing a whole lot of interest like from him going there.
Yeah.
It's been all over my Instagram feed and all this sports shows and stuff like that. So,
yeah, me too. Or not Instagram, but yeah. I also heard. I had a couple more options in my head, but the only one I can remember now is the Colts, I think. I don't really think that is as likely as the other two.
Yeah.
But I think it's still there, because nobody's gonna be paying him $20 million. It's just a matter of how low he's accepting. Like, how low is the number that you're accepting that you're willing to take? Because like, if he's willing to take only $7 or $8 million, there's a lot of already great defensive teams that would love to have him.
Oh yeah, I think anyone would love to have him, really.
Yeah, for sure.
So you were talking about the Colts, and I want to touch on Carson Wentz now.
Oh man.
I know I've said this probably every episode. I'm a Philly fan. Just get it in your guys' mind. Carson Wentz was a big problem for Philly last year, and then last couple games, Jalen Hurts stepped in and played decently. Carson Wentz asked for a release not too long ago. And a team that has really shown interest is the Colts. I've seen different things, how they'd offer like a first round and like some certain things. And Carson Wentz is getting a couple offers from a few different teams, but Colts is like one of the biggest offers.
Yeah, the trade for Carson Wentz is expected to be finalized later this week. And imagine, I heard that the Eagles are looking to make kind of a Matthew Stafford type package for him, but that confuses me so much because if you look at what Jalen Hurts did in the last few weeks, like they might have lost a couple games, but it seemed like everybody was playing a lot better and a lot more willing to play around him.
Yeah.
And, you're not going to pay a superstar quarterback that you just traded for. You're not going to pay him
$125 million.
Right, $100 million, and then be like, oh, by the way, you have to compete for your job with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what the thought process behind that is, but
with Carson Wentz, there is also saying that Eagles might give the Colts Ertz as well, kind of like a package deal.
Yeah. And
in return, you'd get at least a first round, maybe 2 first round picks. So yeah, really, there's not a whole lot of stuff. I mean, Carson Wentz, he was good, but he's kind of like the bad QB now, and everyone just threw him behind them. So,
yeah, I think really ever since he had like his injury in the Super Bowl season.
Yeah.
What was that? 2017.
Yeah.
What was that?
17.
Yeah, 2017. I feel like ever since then he hasn't really been the same.
Yeah, I feel like he's gotten
starting to show
lower and lower, and with Philly drafting Hurts, I think that really did the complete opposite of boosting his confidence. Just put his confidence way lower because they had a drafted QB. So yeah, really, Carson Wentz is just getting offers from Colts, and it's a good place, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go back to Houston. We've talked about Deshaun Watson a lot, but let's go all in right now. And what do you think the scenario is going to end up being for him? Because there's a lot of not so much anymore, but at the beginning there was a lot of speculation, and there were so many teams that people said, oh, he could fit here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's getting narrowed down as time goes on. So what are you thinking?
I'll be honest, Houston, I don't think they're really showing any interest in trading Deshaun Watson or releasing him. Being honest, I think he might. I think someone's going to offer something really good, like a really good deal, and they're going to trade him. But at the same time, I feel like they might keep him for another year or 2.
Yeah, see, the thing is that Texans general manager, I don't know his name, but he said, very out there, he said he doesn't want to trade Deshaun Watson. But the problem is, he needs to soon before he gets nothing for him.
Yeah.
Because if he gets it now and gets a few players and a few picks for him, then that would be a lot more worth it than his contract running out and then he leaves to a team where he gets to pick where he goes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what I was. You really said it good. I think. Um, sorry, I just lost my thought. Um,
You're good.
they're not gonna. I don't really think they're gonna really try to release him, but at the same time, they really need to.
Yeah, they definitely need to. So the Panthers, that's like the Panthers and the Broncos. The Broncos are, I think, like the second pick that everybody's thinking about, but the Panthers are really kind of like the top by a lot. But the thing is, there's no, like, if we go back to what we said, if the Texans trade him this offseason, they're going to want a lot for him. And there's no reason to trade, or there's no reason for Watson to go to the Panthers if the Panthers trade, Christian McCaffrey and a bunch of picks for him.
Yeah.
Because he would still get out of Houston, but then he has Carolina's best player is gone.
Oh yeah.
And Christian McCaffrey, he can play as a receiver, obviously as a running back, and he's very versatile. And
yeah,
it would really stink for Deshaun Watson if he gets traded and then his best
on
playmaker.
a worse team. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it just there's a lot of stuff going on right now with Deshaun, and it's just a lot of pressure on him and the Texans. So we'll just have to ride it out and see how it goes.
Yeah. I would say, before we move on, if I had to make a pick, I would say that Deshaun's going to go to the Panthers, but the Panthers need to really stay strong about keeping Christian McCaffrey,
Yeah.
I mean, you can give up as many picks as you want. You could give up all your draft picks for the next 2 years, but if you have Deshaun and McCaffrey, then you're getting a better deal than Houston's getting.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's really it.
So let's go to Cleveland. Odell, I don't know if you've heard much about this. I haven't heard a lot, but especially over the last few days, I've been seeing it everywhere. OBJ, I don't know. Odell, he had a good start of the season with Cleveland, because this was Baker's best year of his career, and before Odell got injured, he was playing a big part of it, but then he got injured, and honestly, the Browns seem to do better without him. So it's really, what are you thinking?
Well, I just want to add so you guys know. So yeah, Cleveland, there's been stuff saying that Odell might be released or traded. But yeah, Odell, since moving from the Giants, he hasn't been the same Odell.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Cleveland or Baker or whatever it is, but he just hasn't been the same player he was. And you're right, he was having a good season until he hurt himself. But I think either they need to release him and get something good for him, or they need to really work with him and work with their offense to get him more involved so he can play better for the team.
Yeah. See, some people are saying the Bucks for they're just saying OBJ's going to go to the Bucks. I don't, possibly for Chris Godwin, but the bottom line is they're saying that they think he's going to go to Tampa.
That would be crazy.
The thing is, yeah, that would make their offense so much more explosive, but the thing is they don't need it.
Yeah, they have so many good receivers right now.
Exactly. They don't need the extra superstar. They need to put their cap space toward defense. So if if the Bucks do take this or who is it, Odell, under like pretty much any circumstance, I'm gonna be very surprised.
Yeah, same. Yeah, like it's really just a new thing coming out about Odell, so I haven't really seen any teams really.
Yeah, I've really
showing
just heard
interest
about it in the last few days.
Well, I don't think it just came to my mind. I saw stuff like once he was released from the Giants that Philly was kind of interested, but I don't think Philly would take him now, especially with possibly taking Jamar Chase out of the draft and just a few receivers coming back that opted out last year. So I don't really know where Odell might go if he does get released.
Yeah, that one's it still definitely needs to develop a little bit more. So let's go to Dak Prescott now. I have a little rant I need to go on about him in a minute, but what are you thinking about like the situation? Do you think he's gonna be able to stay, or do you think do you think the Cowboys are gonna let him leave?
Well, do you know if he's like fully healthy yet or not?
I don't know.
Because that's really gonna decide it. Like he's a good QB. He's made a lot of good plays and he's good. But if he doesn't come back and his leg or ankle is still really bothering him, I think Dallas might have to make a decision whether to keep him or not. Because like if he's not fully capable of playing well, I don't know why they would waste a whole bunch of money on him when he can't play for the team, right?
Yeah, see, my problem is the Cowboys are saying, oh, we don't want to pay him all this money he's asking for, but they brought this on themselves because, 3 years ago when he was not asking for, I don't know how much he's asking for, 60 or 70 million maybe, but 3 years ago when he was a low $30 million quarterback, you could have signed him to a 8-year extension and he would have agreed. You should have bought him while he was cheap, and now he's asking, if the price is right, I'll stay with you, but you're not willing to pay. So you're either going to have to pay, you're going to have to pay what he wants for the certain amount of time he wants. You're either going to have to release him, let him go into free agency, or you're going to have to compromise and sign him for less money, but on a short-term deal, like maybe a 5-year deal or something that voids, or that, like, a player option after, 3 years.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, really, you said it how I was going to say it. It's
tricky.
Yeah.
It's really tricky. Who is the Cowboys' backup quarterback? Do you know?
Andy Dalton.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Andy he could be a good QB. I just really think the Bengals wasted him. I think if they had
he spent way too much time in Cincinnati.
So Dak is asking for a $45 million, maybe. I think that's what it said.
Yeah, you're probably right, actually.
So it said he was offered $175 million, but he's asking for $45 million. I think it's an extra 45. So yeah, that's a lot of money. That's $215, $220. I don't know the math right now. I'm not smart at math, but something like that.
Yeah. So, this just came to my mind. The Cowboys have the 10th pick in the draft, and they're obviously not gonna want to stick with Jameis Winston if they end up having to let Dak go.
Mm-hmm.
So
could that be a potential
in my mind,
Justin Fields?
I'm thinking Mac Jones.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
do you think Justin Fields is going to slide to 10th? I think if he does, then the Cowboys might say, yeah, we'll give away Dak. Let's sign Justin.
But that just really came to my mind because the official Philly thing said they might trade up to the Dolphins to get Justin Fields, but I really don't think we're going to do that. So I think Justin Fields might potentially slide down to that if BYU's QB gets taken before him. That's
yeah, that's true.
That really just solved our last episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's focus on one more player before we close. So Jameis Winston, Sean Payton has said that he wants the Saints to sign Jameis Winston, as soon as they can, so he doesn't leave.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are saying Jameis Winston might be able to replace
Drew Brees.
Yeah, obviously Drew Brees, but they're saying he might be able to get traded to a different team and do well. But I think, in my mind, the best option for him is to stay with the Saints. And I think if he stays with the Saints, he is going to be the starting quarterback.
Yeah, I agree.
Because, as you could have seen with this season, he obviously wasn't like the starter, but in his plays that he got, he definitely looked a lot better than he was at the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
When he was with the Bucks, he didn't have any veteran quarterback to look up to or anything, or to take after. He was the number 1 overall pick, and he was automatically thrown right into the mix. And some guys can handle that, but Jameis Winston he just wasn't ready for it, I don't think.
Yeah.
But now he knows this offense. He knows how one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game has run the offense. And I think if he stays with New Orleans, next year will be a very strong comeback season for him.
Yeah. In earlier episodes, we were talking about how Deshaun might go to the Saints, but yeah, I really don't think so anymore. I think the Saints should stick with Jameis Winston. And then again, they could always use Tyson Hill and those QB RPO stuff or read options, that type of stuff, and just use them.
Right, they always have that second option.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think for the Saints it's worth picking up a new quarterback.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, that's all I have today.
Yeah, that's all I got
too. Good.
Okay. So thank you for watching this episode. As always, we will have our next one on Saturday.
Yep.
Make sure you subscribe to us or follow us on whatever platform you're listening on. And as always, I'm working on the Instagram account right now, so you could go look for that soon. It'll probably be up tonight or tomorrow. But yeah,
Sweet.
So I'll see you guys.